The hunter's moon. October 17th, 2024, the hunter's moon. This is Thursday, October 17th, 2024, hunter's moon. God made the sun for the daytime and the moon for the lesser light, for a night light. Jesus Christ, Lord, Savior, God. All capitals. I can't wait to when Copperfield and his illusion crew make the moon disappear and then reappear using undercode 7 methods that he thought of in the 1970s. And undercode said he's excited that David's going to breathe life into the illusion and make it a reality. It's 30 years of hard work, 30 years in the making. I understand from other magicians and people behind the scenes, they said that Copper's been wanting to do this since 1980s and then again at the Olympics, but it was found too expensive. And the guy said he's glad that Copper's finally getting a chance to do it. He's got the money to do it now. I'm thinking it's like a Venta black material that absorbs light with a shadow laser projector to give the illusion the moon's vanishing or reappearing using a shadow laser, Venta black. David J. Duncan said use the same concept, but using a military cloaking balloon high in the atmosphere and beam that same kind of laser onto the moon to give the illusion that it's vanished and reappear. And Tommy's story said, do like they do Star Trek, beam a black laser on the moon and make it like it vanished. And then Bob Schofield and Lady Raven, great minds think alike, use a foil mirror or a mirror. Although looking at my comments, I thought of a mirror too. A mirror to block out the sun's rays on the moon, and it'll give the illusion that it's slowly disappearing and reappearing. And then Kenny Rock church member suggested to just reflect the dark side of the moon into the front of the moon. And Bob Schofield said, we'll use Elon Musk's drones on the dark side of the moon, reflect the dark side of the moon to the front of the moon. And basically the same thing that Kenny Rock said, but Bob Schofield, KTM motocross biker, church member, illusionist, magician's friend since 1980s, just said it a longer version of it. And Miles Till's magician said that just use Elon Musk's Starlink 16-something satellites to block out the sun rays from the moon and then reverse it to bring the moon back. Then you got Guy Kramer's hyper stealth core, bending light, invisibility, nanobots, metamaterials that'll hide the object, in this case the moon, but show the background only. I pray everybody's safe during these hurricanes and tornadoes and all that. And I pray that everybody that's going camping, even our church, the men's taking their their boys and their grandchildren out camping at Moyoak, North Carolina, rough, roughing it out, but in the process, the plan of salvation message is preached. At Good News, I'm sure other Christian churches, the plan of salvation message is preached in any event that we do, be it the harvest rally for the teens or juniors, or Christian camps like the Wilds for the teens, and then the Edge camp for the junior boys and girls, and then the teen boys and girls help out, and then also the teen boys and girls for the Wilds Christian Camp, wilds.org. Then you get the Bill Rice Ranch Christian Camp. You got Camp Deer Lake Christian Camp. Well, you get the idea. Salvation Army Christian Camp's a good camp too. And you got the Jello Wars, and you got the Army versus Navy, teen activity, war activities. Someone's alarm's going off. Jim Van Gilderen, or Jim Van Gilderen came up with the Army versus Navy teen activities, and then he let Bobby Bosler and some others take over and do with the Minutemen. Pastor Asher said he was helping out. I guess you could say he was one of the Minutemen helping out at the war, Army versus Navy idea. A lot of people on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, any social media, they don't know why the moon is slowly disappearing and reappearing like an eclipse, but there's no eclipse that day. They're wondering why it does that and reappear or change orange or red and then disappear slowly. Well, now you know. It's Andre Cole's Born Again Christian Illusionist, 7 Methods of Making the Moon Disappear. And he gave it to David Seth Kotkin, Jewish born again Christian, Lewis magician, his losing crew, and practiced it for 30 years. 30 years of hard work, 30 years in the making. And these kids today are going to find out who David Copperfield is, because even Garrett Asher, one of Renee and Mike Asher's children, Pastor Mike Asher's children, and Renee, his wife, the youngest boy, they have 11 children altogether. God provided for them. Anyway, Garrett said, who's Copperfield? So, Copperfield ain't did a show since 2001, the Tornado Fire. And like I tell everybody on my YouTube channel, they can freely make copies of all my videos, including magic specials, all the Doug Hennings, all the Copperfields, you name it, the David Blaine's and all that. Bob Scupu took me the first time at Christ Hall in Norfolk, Virginia, and he showed his hands empty, and magic produced 2 tickets, one for him and one for me. And we got balcony, but some people didn't show up. And someone said, who wants to take the front row? And Bob said, two here. So we went from the balcony down below, and we watched the show close up. Lady Without a Middle, that's Joni Spinia's Lady Without a Middle, to Phil Collins. Not with Phil Collins. Was it Phil Collins? Phil Collins in the Air Tonight. But when Copper made his appearance, he made his appearance in a double-walled crystal smoke chamber, the same one you seen him do on the Great Wall of China appearing in. But at Chrysler Hall, he used Corey Hart sunglasses that night. And before he did the Alcatraz theme to Phil Collins, I Don't Care Anymore with Underclothes Sword and Pill Delusion, he let Joni Espinia fall through the sword. And to Mike and Mechanic's Silent Running. And the second time we went, Bob Scofield's wife, Judy Scofield, tagged along. She enjoyed it. And then the next time, Tommy and his Andy Story and Bobby Story got to go, and I was able to tag along. And then the next time it was Michael Klein and David Drew Duncan and Tommy and me and Matt Galloway and his mom and dad. They went to the first show. We went to the second show, and Dave Duncan got a phone call before the show started, and Dave said Matt said something about snow in the theater, and then eventually we watched the whole thing. Yep, it snowed in the theater. And the next time, it was Matt Galloway got to tag along with us. Then after the routine, we came out and his parents were doing a Dick Tracy flashlight thing. And after and it was neat that it was snowing outside. It's like God says, okay, I'll help Copperfield advance the illusion. Snow in the theater at Christ Hall and make it snow for real outside. Then the next time it was Tommy's Story and my older nephew Raymond Eugene Smith III and me for Copperfield, and I was praying that he would do the 13 People Vanish and Portal, and Jesus answered my prayers. He did. It was cool stuff. And then after the show, we got souvenirs and stuff. And I got the DVD. Joni Espinia is a nice lady too. She helped us a lot of times. She helped when Tommy took his nephews, Andy Story and Bobby Story. She said, well, how do you work the camera? I'll take the picture. So Tommy got to be in the picture while she snapped the picture. And then she overheard me. I was looking for the souvenir book that had the airplane, the Statue of Liberty, and Lonnie Anderson. Looks like her middle is missing, but it's a mirror principle. And then you see Ronald Reagan and Copperfield. Looks like they're shaking hands and stuff, I guess. Anyway, that was a good souvenir book, but it fell apart. Then the next time I had the one where he's next to a Webster duck with a black bow tie, his pet duck, on the back. And that's where, anyway, Eugene, after the show, was so, as we walk into Tommy's car, he said, how did he do the duck bucket? How did he reappear in the motorcycle and the 13 and Portal? He was so excited. I said, Eugene, put it this way. If you got in my head, you'd know everything. If you got in my brain. He said, no, Bill, if I got in your brain, I'd get lost. I said, very funny, Eugene, very funny, as we're walking across the street to get to Tommy's car. I told him I'd make him a 6 hours worth of VCR tape. And later on, I made a DVD, and my nephew, William Marshall paid the DVD. He got to go to Christ Hall too, but that time it was Mickey's Magic Show. and they basically did the same similar stuff. Now at school we did the Virginia Symphony at Christ Hall, but they put a wall up with doors and all that, so, but I knew it was much bigger. And I explained to all my school friends that there's more room on that stage, and I went in detail. I started doing illusions at age 5, and the teens at our church said, good news. They say, you started doing magic at 5 years old? I learned to tie my shoes. I said, well, that's good. You learned to tie your shoe. Then I got saved at a vacation Bible school at age 11 years old. Yeah. At Alexander Baptist Church, and then later on, Good News became our family church. I was praying to Jesus, help me find a good church, and he answered my prayer. There was a knock on the door the following Saturday, and it was the lady saying, hey, would you like to come to church? Good News Baptist. I told my dad, Marcel Fingerplay Jr. Well, yeah, and yeah, you can go if your sisters can go. Then I said to her, yeah, I can go if Cheryl and Stacy can go. She said, sure, the more the merrier. She said, I'm Annette Williams. Well, now her name is Annette Graff because her husband a long time ago, Bobby Williams, got promoted to heaven. Then God provided her another husband named Bill Graff, and provided children, Sammy Graff, Josh Graff, and Stephen Graff. Our founding pastor is Dallas Ainsley, and then Pastor Ward Mac Palmer, then Pastor Walter Coles, and now Pastor Mike Asher. And we're still going strong, and we plan to expand the church. I can't wait for that. With God's help, we will get it done. There'll be 700 people in the new church, and the church we're in now will be a fellowship hall, and it'll be a gymnasium. We never had a gymnasium before, and we just recently got a digital sign. We never had that before. It'll keep up with everything and not have the same thing over and over and over. And live stream for Facebook and YouTube, Good News Baptist Church in Chesapeake, Virginia. (3252) Taylor Road. And we're going to have they're going to block off the entrance we come in and go close to where Lenore lives and make a pathway that way. It won't interfere with the traffic on Bruce Road.